The episode begins with Richard and Nicole preparing for a parents' night at school. The doorbell rings, and Nicole is welcomed by a babysitter Richard had booked via internet, expecting the job would entail sitting on babies. She slams the door on him, disgusted, before Gumball and Darwin pitch themselves as possible alternatives. Aeneas is terrified by the proposal, but as their parents go, Gumball vows not to disappoint. Gumball and Darwin are extremely careful from the start, refusing to allow Anais walk upstairs for fear of an accident, smashing their television to prevent ads from corrupting her, and mismanaging an electrical fire. Throughout it all, Aeneas proves more capable, appropriately extinguishing the fire and pointing out flaws in their argument. But she is ultimately powerless because Nicole put them in charge. Meanwhile, Nicole and Richard are waiting for the parent-teacher conference outside Miss Simeon's classroom. Nicole tries to calm Richard down, assuring him that they are now adults and that Miss Simeon has no authority over them. But their future encounter proves otherwise. To cheer Anais up, Gumball and Darwin decide to take her for a walk in the park, but she is disappointed to find herself linked to a child leash. During the stroll, Marvin taunts her with a dog biscuit, causing her to viciously bite his palm. Gumball and Darwin presume she is hungry and take her home. They serve her a nearly inedible lunch, then proceed to chew it up for her, which she then blasts in their faces with a straw. Given the mess, Gumball and Darwin force Anais to take a bath. Aeneas hits a breaking point when they refuse to let her bathe for fear of the water being too unsafe, insisting she dry clean herself. She instructs them to go, but continues to fill the bathtub behind their backs. Darwin notices this, but Aeneas responds that she only flushed, reminding Gumball that Aeneas should wear a nappy to avoid an accident. Sick by her brother's ludicrous demands, she begins running about the house while Gumball and Darwin pursue her. Unbeknownst to the three, Aeneas failed to turn off the tap, causing the water to slowly overflow from the tub. Aeneas locks her boys outside on the roof and taunts them by purposefully breaking their rules. She begins descending down the ladder of their bunk bed to have a bath with real water, as Gumball and Darwin forbid, but falls into the increasing water, drowning the house. Gumball and Darwin are unable to unlock the window or door, forcing them to enter through the sewers and emerge from the toilet inside to rescue Anais. The fireplace is the only opening to the outdoors, so they swim into it and are catapulted out of the chimney before crashing brutally onto the pavement. Back at school, Richard unintentionally reminds Nicole that the kids are still home alone, which causes Nicole to rush back home. When the two return home, Richard tries to calm Nicole down and reassure her that nothing happened wrong. But as she opens the front door, all of the water spills out, knocking them to the lawn. Nicole is furious and approaches the children, demanding to know who was guilty. Aeneas is about to accept the blame, but Gumball wants to be responsible for once and admit it was his fault. When he sees her mother's furious expression, he blames Darwin. The family then goes on to explain why it wasn't their fault and blame others, eventually pointing to Richard's inability to choose a suitable babysitter. With no one else to blame, Richard turns to the internet. Finally, the whole family chooses to go with that excuse, thereby ending the episode.